Disney is a company that y'all should just let fucking die, man. Let this company die, dude. So we're gonna listen to what this sort of corporate president named Kerry Burke has to say about what's going on. Now, keep in mind, there's a lot of bullshit going on with this company. This company has been one of the ones, certainly the biggest one, that has really come out just where they're at ideologically, certainly not neutral, about authoritarian leftism. You see what they're doing out there, or for what's going on out there in Florida, which is, they say it's the Don't Say Gay bill, and they continue to reiterate that that's what it is, even though it has nothing to do with that. So let's listen to what this heifer had to say. Let's just listen. Let's just listen.
I'm here as a mother of two queer children, actually. One transgender child.
No. I told y'all, one of the things that really triggers me is when I hear the term trans kid or trans child. We know who's making the rules up there. We know who's making the claims there. Okay? To act like the fact that this has become normalized, which I would say, or I would easily argue that it's a form of child abuse. The fact that it really goes to show how fucked up we are, this country is, where people are uttering the term trans child as if that's normal. They don't see, or they think so, and among their peers, they don't see any social backlash or ramifications for uttering such think about it, just the component there, where you're basically suggesting, you're probably giving puberty blockers and all kinds of shit to this child, doing irreversible damage. And every time I hear like trans child or trans kid, I fucking cringe. Just right out the gate, this heifer's on some other shit.
And one pansexual child.
So this chick is saying that she has a pansexual child. Of course, it's just a white woman. Pansexual child, as well as, where's the father? I don't know if she's married or anything, but she's saying she has a pansexual child. Again, working for Disney. Pansexual child and a transgender child. Jesus Christ.
And also as a leader. And that was the thing that really got me, because I have heard so much from so many of my colleagues over the course of the last couple of weeks, in open forums and through emails and phone conversations. And I feel a responsibility to speak, not just for myself, but for them. To all of us. We had an open forum last week at 20th where, again, the home of really incredible, groundbreaking LGBTQIA stories over the years, where one of our execs stood up and said, we only have a handful of queer leads in our content. And I went, what? That can't be true. And I realized, it actually is true. We have many, many, many LGBTQIA characters in our stories, and yet we don't have enough leads and narratives in which gay characters just get to be characters, and not have to be about gay stories.
You're incapable of doing that. You're incapable of doing that.
Opening for me. And I can tell you, it's something that I feel perhaps had this moment not happened, I as a leader and me as my colleagues would not have focused on. And going forward, I certainly will be more so. I know that we will be. And I hope this is a moment where, the 50% of the tears, sorry, are coming. We just don't allow each other to go backwards.
All right. So what's about to happen with Disney is that they're all in here. Okay.
I'm here.
I know that they are trying to have a policy where, like, on the upward of 50% of the characters they're wanting to be either a member of the LGBT or a racial minority or whatever. Now, I don't know how that works in terms of the representation and the statistics and the landscape, since they care so much about that. But Disney is telling you, just point blank period, this didn't start with this chick. I mean, they have made an effort to do that. And right now we do see that there is I know that it was reported IGN not too long ago that both of the Bobs are beefing, between Bob Iger as well as Bob Chapek. And there's an internal struggle apparently, but I think whoever is winning out of this is the ones that are advocates of social justice, period. Like, that's what they care about. That's what they're hyper-emphasizing. That's what they are prioritizing. It's social justice, authoritarian leftism. You can argue that they have been making their material be representative of that. But definitely in the last year or so, the last about half decade or so, we've seen these people hyper-emphasize that with their work. And I think this Florida stuff really probably forced their hand. And they believed, well, we have been catering to this audience, and here we are in Florida because we have so many of our properties with this world, with the theme parks and all that existing in this state, and because we've catered to this demographic of people, which should only represent like fucking 3% of the fucking world, we need to make an adjustment. And look, when you have a company like that, that's as big as it is, that is as influential as it is, that seriously has no problem being ideologically in opposition, not only supporting grooming, which is essentially what I believe Disney is doing anyway, just flat out, certainly in the public education system, not just that, but just through the work and through even the rhetoric of these people that are making the claims when they do what they did to Gina Carano. Like, they're telling you where they're at and who their alignments are with. And it's not with you. Definitely for those of you that value liberty. Look, I know a lot of y'all got addiction problems. Okay. Yes, I have to give you the lecture again about addiction, where you think that you just have to consume Disney products. And you don't. You don't. It'll be okay. It may be bizarre that you can't, or that you don't go see the next Marvel movie. That may make you feel some kind of way. But I promise you, the longer you go without it, the better you're going to be, and it's going to be okay. They're not even worth pirating. They should not be seen with the legitimacy as you maybe once saw them before. Those days of literal Walt Disney are gone. I don't even know if any Disney family members, since Roy passed, ironically he passed right as the Marvel Cinematic Universe was about to take off. That was Walt's brother. Walt's brother passed. No, that's Walt's, if I'm not mistaken, Walt's nephew, if I'm not mistaken. Excuse me. And I don't know if any of the Disney people are like that are tied to that family or even still part of the are even still part of like Disney at all. So it's just a mega corporate entity with a lot of properties. And they should be defunded by you. Until y'all do that, I don't want to hear anything about ESG. I don't want to hear anything about that shit. Until people do that and actually have their balls in their words and really are going out of their way to say, you know what, we're done with this. Let's go look at other alternative forms of entertainment. Until we do that, I don't think there's an argument to be made about focusing on what it is that they're doing in that regards. It's not to say that it's not a thing. It's more so to say that people within it are still giving this company the benefit of the doubt as customers. And until the customers decide, I'm done with this fucking company, we can't really see the ramifications of that. We can't see what the consequence for Disney is going to be when their bottom line is impacted in that regards, when they jangle some nostalgic keys in front of you and then you go fawn over the next movie or show or whatever. Let it go. Ironic. Let it go. It's a company that is ideologically leftist, authoritarian left, and they're doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on what they're doing to your children. Let them die.
You just listened to a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake, which is live throughout the week at 12 p.m. Central on youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. Be sure to check out my website, ericdjuly.com, so you can stay up to date with everything it is that I'm doing. You can also become a member and get access to a bunch of cool perks and exclusive content, which includes a social media hub where you can interact with myself and other members. It even has an app that you can get, which is now live in the Google and Apple stores.